Karibuni. Give me a couple of minutes. Just want to get those on Twitter up and going. Want to make sure the live is going there. Yeah, so karibuni, asanteni kwa kuwa nami, na asanteni kwa kuwa nami leo. So, message for our brothers and sisters who will be watching from the Twitter space. Okay, so peace and greetings, family. Welcome to Kumbukeni. Kumbukeni means remember. When you say to one person, you say kumbuka. When you say to many people, you say kumbukeni. Mbote, 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 mbote fella. MB fella, mbote. I forget the response for mbote. I know that's Congolese, that's Lingala. Remind me what the response for mbote is, because I know there's a, yeah, and I've learned it and I forgot it because I don't use it as often, but asante sana. So yeah, kumbukeni means remember. When you say it to one person, you say kumbuka, one person. When you say it to many people, you say kumbukeni, right? We remember who we are, we remember our history, we remember the responsibilities we carry for the future of Africa, for the future of Nsi Ya Ubuntu, the land of Ubuntu, which is Africa. We are renaming it using our own languages. So today's broadcast, I see you, MB fella. Listen, every opportunity to use the language, I appreciate that you know Mbote. And yes, we will move with that. Today's broadcast, anyone who remembers what the response for Mbote is, I think it's Mbote, but I'm not certain. It might be something else. So just let us know. That's Congolese. It is Lingala, if I remember correctly. Today's broadcast comes from a discussion that unfolded in a group of WanaUbuntu organizing around liberation and food sovereignty. And WanaUbuntu, for those of you who follow Kumbukeni, but for those of you who haven't followed Kumbukeni before and are just joining us today, WanaUbuntu is children of Ubuntu, people of Ubuntu, so Africans. Instead of calling us Africans, instead of calling us by foreign names that were given to us by our invaders, we are renaming ourselves WanaUbuntu. So we're going to focus on the message that was shared in this discussion, this heated discussion, saying a French warship is on the East African shores carrying a warship, rather a French warship, carrying military aircraft and soldiers docked at the port of Mombasa. For those of you who don't know, Mombasa is in Kenya. It's the coast of Kenya, but there is a US military base there called Manda Bay. And so this post sparked a debate, not just about the ship, right? Let me say that right. The military ship, but about something much deeper. It revealed the mindset that many Africans, many WanaUbuntu still have toward foreign military power on our land. Some responses to me or to the whole discussion were, you're being negative. You just want arguments. Africa cannot isolate itself from the world. Everything you use is foreign anyway. What are you doing with all this knowledge? Do you want all overseas bases closed? What danger do these bases actually pose? So today we will address every one of these questions clearly, because it got to the point where I got tired of responding on a message. And also it seemed like the people I was speaking to were not listening. So I wanted a wider audience in case there were people who have these questions, similar questions, but are willing to listen. And so I stopped focusing on those individuals that were in that group. And now I want it to be a wider range of people that I reach, our people. But also, it is more convenient for me to get on here. Yes, I do need to go and put together some notes. Yes, I need to get myself together, but it's easier to have this because unlike a WhatsApp group messaging thing, this one can be shared and continue to exist for a longer time. So because if Also, because if we as WanaUbuntu do not develop the mental discipline and warrior mindset required for liberation, we will continue defending systems that endanger us. And the sad thing is, we've become so individualized. We think, oh, I'm walking away. I don't want this conversation. I'm not having this argument, because you think it's about you, but it's not about you. It's about all of us. Your ignorance, your colonized mind is going to put us all at risk. So I'm not allowing you to walk away. I'm sorry. You're going to have to endure the discomfort to hear the truth so that you can adjust. And if you don't adjust, maybe other measures will be taken. I don't know what they are. I don't know if we have to have a forced miseducation or re-education of our people. I have no idea. But other measures might have to be taken to put our peoples in the right mindset so that we can walk towards liberation. So the first question, why are foreign militaries, well, actually, the real question that should be asked by us all is, why are foreign militaries in Africa? Why are foreign military bases in Africa, right? So when a foreign warship arrives with soldiers and military aircraft, the first question should be simple. Why are they here? Militaries do not travel around the world for friendship. No, they exist for war, strategic positioning, resource control, geopolitical power. No military spends billions simply to help. And this is a lie we've believed for so many years. So when foreign military base appears in Africa, when a foreign military warship appears in Africa, the real question must become, whose war is it preparing for? Right? So we're talking, this French warship apparently appearing in the Mombasa coast is related to the current war we are witnessing between Iran, Israel, and the United States, right? And why bases are dangerous from that perspective. So right now, Iran, Israel, and the United States are at war. Israel and the United States are standing on one side, and Iran on the other side. Iran has already targeted US military bases across the region in retaliation. I have a friend who's in Kuwait, and I was like, what does it have to do with you? But I remembered, oh, there's a military base there. And she was like, yo, we are hiding. It's constant bombs, right? So this situation illustrates a critical reality. When a country hosts a foreign military base, it automatically becomes a potential target, especially if you're hosting a foreign military base of a bully nation like the United States that just looks for trouble, right? Not just because anything that nation did, like it's not because Kenya or Kuwait or Iraq or whoever did something. No, it's because it's because someone else's military operates there, someone else that is bothering this nation, and this nation is trying to defend itself. If a US base exists inside an African country, an Nsi Ya Ubuntu country, and the United States enters a war, that base becomes a legitimate military target, right? That means missiles, that means airstrikes, that means covert attacks. So, and this will happen on African soil. Just because it hasn't yet doesn't mean it won't. And actually it has. We have Sudan, we have Somalia. So the population becomes collateral damage. Because this is related to another conversation we had before where I said we need the military bases in, like I was, and I've said this on Kumbukeni, maybe Iran should hit one of the military bases in Kenya so that we can get rid of them. They'll save us the cost, they'll save us the headache. And the person was like, oh, what about the citizens? And I said, and it's actually interesting that that's how they responded, because in my comment, I said, and I hope no one else other than the base is destroyed or harmed. And so we have to understand that either way, we are going to be collateral damage. So which way are we going to choose? Which way are we going to have power in? Are we going to just let ourselves be controlled, or will we take control of the situation and make sure we limit the damage? This is not speculation. This is how modern warfare works. We're witnessing it on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere where we're getting posts of what's happening in Israel, in Palestine, in Iran. So Africa already hosts numerous foreign military installations linked to commands like the United States Africa Command. These installations support drone operations, surveillance, military logistics, intelligence gathering. When these operations occur from Nsi Ya Ubuntu territory, African territory, Nsi Ya Ubuntu becomes part of global military conflicts, right? Yet we are rarely, actually, I don't even remember a time where we are the ones making the decisions. We become launch pads and targets in wars that are not ours. That's one of the risks for those of you asking the risks, right? And then the argument about isolation, talking about we can't isolate ourselves, we need other nations. That question, right? Why? Where they said Africa cannot isolate itself. This is one of the members in the group. The world is interconnected. This statement sounds reasonable. When you hear it, yeah, it sounds reasonable when you first hear it, but it creates a false choice. The choice is not isolation versus surrender. The real choice is sovereignty versus dependency. No serious liberation movement has ever said Africa should isolate itself. And I've never said that, ever, ever. What we are saying is war. What we are saying is Africa must control the terms of engagement with the world. That's what we're saying. Trade with the world, yes. Scientific collaboration, yes. Cultural exchange, yes. Foreign military control of our territory, absolutely not. Military bases are not trade agreements. They are instruments of power projection. So you as an African is living in Mombasa, close to Manda Bay. You definitely every day are thinking, oh Lord, the US is here. It is a risk. You're definitely thinking this is a mighty nation. Oh my goodness, look at what they're bringing. This is in your, so it's controlling you. It's controlling you and you don't even realize it. And if a war breaks where this nation that has a military base in your country is fighting another, you will not, you have been conditioned already to fear them and to fear them in an unhealthy way, right? The statement, you are using a foreign phone, you drive foreign vehicles, so why reject foreign bases? This argument confuses technology with military power. Like, and usually, and this was my response most of the time, usually questions like this I respond with, are you stupid? Like, increase your intellectual capacity. Like, what are other responses I give? This is exposing your short-sightedness. This is exposing your mental colonization. Because it is. It is. And I have to let you know, when you go to the doctor doesn't sit there and say, oh my goodness, if I tell them they have cancer, their feelings are going to be hurt. Or if I tell them they have HIV, I'm going to hurt their feelings. So I'm not going to tell them. There's a condition with you. I'm not sure what it is, but you need to take this medication to save your feelings. No. You are mentally colonized. That's the condition with you. You are short-sighted. That's the condition with you. Now ask me, why do you say this to me instead of crying, you have insulted me? Why do you think I'm short-sighted? And then I'll break it down for you like I'm doing right now. A smartphone does not threaten national sovereignty. It has other threats, and we've talked about them on Kumbukeni, but it doesn't threaten national sovereignty. A foreign military base does. Technology can be bought, studied, replicated, improved. Military occupation creates dependency and vulnerability. These two things are not the same. They are related in other areas, but they're not the same. The threat they pose are not the same. So the real issue, right? The mindset, the real issue. What this conversation with my fellow Kenyans revealed is something much deeper. Many Africans, many WanaUbuntu have been trained to think like subjects inside someone else's system, not like a people responsible for defending a civilization. A liberated people must develop a warrior mindset. We must, people. This is not a matter of nduku your way on the highway. No, this is a matter of logic. If you don't, we will die. And we are dying. We must develop a warrior mindset. This does not mean aggression. It doesn't mean careless aggression. It means clarity. It means discipline. It means strategic thinking. It means commitment to the collective good. It means being okay with being uncomfortable in uncomfortable conversations for a better good, for a better goal, for a better end. The emotional thing I've said, we are raising a generation. We have been conditioned now to be emotionally weak. That's why you see posts of videos of US military, members of the US military being posted dancing and doing all kinds of weird stuff, and people laughing because they're like, yo, these people are not ready for a war with Iran if this is who they are. right? Because we are entertaining a lot of nonsense and emotional fragility that doesn't help us at all. And this is the thing with these Western ways. It's the extreme. Like, it's never a balance. It's extreme. They either cater too much to us and then we become weak, or they don't cater to us at all and we become weak, but in a weird way, a different way. Instead of finding a middle that promotes our well-being, a balance. And we are a people, we Africans, we WanaUbuntu are a people of balance, ma'at. And it's for a reason, because through nature, balance sustains life. Man and woman, balance sustains life, because man has features that woman doesn't have. Woman has features that man doesn't have. Together they create balance and life is created. A warrior society understands that security decisions affect the survival of the nation, not just one person, everyone. Regarding this emotional fragility and political struggle, another individuals are throwing insults like, you just talk, you are negative, you want arguments, right? But when I challenge them, they say they're being attacked. When I challenge them, they say they're being attacked. Right? This is this weakness I'm talking about, we must overcome. Liberation struggles require emotional resilience, where you're being, yani unatukanwa. In Kiswahili, kutukanwa is you're insulted and you're keeping a straight face. It is not bothering, because what is being said is words. And in that situation, if you have disciplined yourself mentally, you understand those words do not define you, because you have defined you and you know who you are. You are not allowing exterior forces to define you. That's the mental discipline. So what they say does not affect you. Those doing the work will be criticized. I don't know why you as a revolutionary, a liberation seeker, thinks that you will not be criticized. I don't know why you think this is going to be a smooth ride, a comfortable ride. You'll be criticized. I've been criticized. We'll be criticized. We'll be mocked. We'll be misunderstood. But we do not stop the work. We do not stop to cry about our feelings. We do not get distracted by insults. We stay focused on the mission, because insults do not define us. We have defined ourselves. They're simply noise meant to derail the conversation. And when I get petty and I'm insulting, move on past that. Look at the picture, the bigger message I'm sending. Because I'm not perfect. I'm a human being and I get petty because I get irritated. But look at the bigger message I'm sending to you, and understand that I'm coming from a point of love and defense for our people. But our people are hard to defend right now. They really are hard to defend. But because I love you, I'm still out here doing this work. Regarding to us having a world war, right? We've been talking about world war. There was World War I, World War II. If you go ask my shosho back at home, my grandma, Mama, grandma, you remember World War II? What's that? What is that? Unless it is members of the Mau Mau revolution, the Kikuyu, or members of communities that were being forced to go to the war by the British. A lot of Kenyans don't know what World War II. Then, didn't know that there was a world war on both 1 and 2. Because it had nothing to do with them at the time. Nothing immediate to do with them. So we say World War I, we say World War II, we say potential World War III. But if we look carefully, these are wars usually driven by a small number of powerful nations competing for dominance. We rarely start these wars. We haven't started any of them. We're often dragged into them. So from an Ubuntu perspective, we, WanaUbuntu, must approach global conflict differently, right? Ubuntu teaches us our humanity is connected. So yes, we understand if there's war elsewhere, it will affect us. And we're seeing it affecting us through trade and because we are dependent, right? We can no longer go with this foreign or Western narrative of this is a world war. What that does is it brings us into something that doesn't have anything to do with us. And also it takes us away from actually identifying the true problem entities, right? Which nations are a problem. But also something else it's doing indirectly, It's feeding white supremacy. Because if the US is in a war, now all of a sudden it's a world war. So all of a sudden we're all at war if the US is at war. No, we're not. And we're not a warring people. We are peaceful people unless provoked. The US is a warring people, provoked or not. They're a warring people because they seek to invade and control. Hold on 1 minute. Let me just gather my... And if you have any questions, because I will answer them here. I'm not going to answer them anymore in the WhatsApp group. So if you are coming from that group and you decided, yes, you're going to join and you'll get the real... the answers to the questions you actually wanted to understand why I was speaking the way I was, I thank you. And if you have questions, if you have further questions in the comments, please ask them. Yeah, because this is not about who wins the argument. This is about us winning liberation. This is about us sustaining liberation. This is about us having the right mindset to liberate ourselves because no one else will, right? One of the comments that offended the member of the group was, I said, si ulikuwa unahangaika ati citizens wataumia. So this person at the kuhangaika is to be worried, right? This person previously had said something about, like I said to you all, when I said, I hope Iran does us a favor and takes out the military bases in Kenya. They were like, but the citizens will suffer, right? This statement of mine refers, it is, the point is allowing foreign militaries into African soil is exactly what puts civilians in danger. And I explained, for example, in Kuwait, they have nothing to do with what's going on. Like in the immediate, they have nothing to do with what's going on. But because they have a US military base, they've been hit. And that's the danger it poses if you don't remove that military base. Like if you accept it in your motherland at all. So the point is, and you don't see US military bases in Russia. You don't see US military bases in China. And we never ask ourselves, and I don't think there's a US military base in India. We never ask ourselves why. The US claims that these bases are in these different locations for their interests. Why are they not there? US has no interest with China. US has no interest with Russia. US has no interest with India. Why are there no US bases in those locations? We never ask ourselves that, right? Again, I said, foreign bases are not neutral. They serve strategic military interests of the foreign power, not the host country, not at all. They'll tell you your partners, there's no partnering going on. It is control of you. I will give examples. In Libya 2011, when NATO attacked Libya during the NATO intervention in Libya, or invasion in Libya, African civilians died in large numbers. The country collapsed. It still collapsed. Slave markets appeared. We have them going on right now, reappeared. Who benefited? Western oil interests. Somalia right now, the United States operates major military facilities connected to United States African Command. They have drone strikes there constantly. Like some Al-Shabaab person will be sitting in their house, kaboom, because they can pinpoint where they are. They have all kinds of technology that will show here is where they are directly. And you all did think that Iran doesn't have that pinpointing technology? Because we're talking about, the civilian. Ask yourself, for those of you who don't understand that a base can be taken out without affecting the neighboring people, how the US was able to attack Nigeria and not attack, when they threw the bomb there, and not attack the neighboring people. How they were able to take out just the Iran's Ayatollah's family and himself and certain people, and not other people around them. So this is what they're doing. This is the technology they have. And flip side is now we are at risk, because if they decide, there's a movement, because you all think that Bill Gates is separate from the government of the United States. They're one and the same. Bill Gates is pushing GMO. How is it helping us financially? It's bringing so many billions of dollars to the United States. And it's helping us also push this thing with the IMF, where Africa is forced to import food from the United States. So this is good for us. So, there are Kenyans who are posing a threat to us. There are Kenyans who are terrorizing the United States because they want to grow their indigenous seeds, because they're fighting the GMO. Where do they have their meetings? There, pinpoint, kaboom. We think that will never happen. And even more so because they have a location in Manda Bay. For them to transport a drone from Manda Bay, Mombasa, to wherever we are is much faster and easier and more technologically capable than from them doing it from the United States. This is the risk we're sitting in by allowing them in our nation. So anything we do to fight any imperial invasion, any imperial overreach, that's the threat we are sitting with. That's the threat we face. So I'm not going to take much of your time. I think I addressed all the questions. Regarding me being negative, right? This reveals a psychological problem in us, right? Colonized societies often label serious political analysis as negativity. When you're seriously analyzing stuff politically, they will see you as negative. Why? Because colonial systems train people to prioritize comfort over truth. But liberation movements are not built on comfort. I said before, they are built on clarity. If a house is burning, you're not going out here pointing out the fire is not like you pointing out the fire is not negativity. It is survival. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying let's have a warrior mindset. That's what I'm talking about. Someone asked, what benefits do the military bases bring? So people who support military bases in their nations usually are talking about we get training, we have equipment, we have it improves our economic activities. But these benefits are minimal. If at all they are there, they are minimal compared to the strategic control that this military base will have on our on us as a nation. True security cannot come from dependency. So you do not need, I say again, you do not need them to help you because that's dependency. It must come from self-reliance. What can we as Africans build without these nations? What can we build without money? What can we build with the resources we have? What can we build right now while we are facing sanctions, while we are being attacked, while we are facing retaliation for pushing out imperialists? What can we build with our bare hands and our minds? What can we build with our resilience? Someone asks me what I'm doing with all this knowledge. I have so much knowledge. What am I doing about it? And that's another moment where I'm like, are you stupid? Like right now, you and me having this conversation is what am I doing about it? I'm educating you. I'm decolonizing your mind. That's what I'm doing with all this knowledge I'm sharing with my people so that they too can awaken. It's a fair question. It seems like a fair question. Education is the first battleground. Before we can organize politically, we must understand the system we are confronting. If we don't understand it, we will not build the right strategies to confront it. And this broadcast right here is a part of what am I doing with all this knowledge right here. For those of you who you've been so mentally, intellectually deprived that you have me. Let me give you a spoon feed. So I'm going to wrap up. We must start thinking collectively. That means studying geopolitics, rejecting foreign military domination, strengthening African institutions, building food sovereignty, and organizing communities. And most importantly, developing the mental strength to have difficult conversations without collapsing into emotional conflict. Liberation requires maturity, discipline, and courage. So I thank you all for your patience. I thank you all for your support. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscription button. Share the broadcast. Let me see if we have any questions. Yes, I would need to go do some research on that. But yes, and that was not a world war either. I will let you know. I will let you know. Pay attention to the comments of the recording and I'll let you know. All right. So be well, everyone. And I'll see you. For those of you who follow me, check out, we have an African spirituality event next week in Newark. For those of you who can attend, I look forward to seeing you all there. Be well. Have a good weekend. Kwaherini.